regardless of your favorite NFL team, you're excited about this day because you feel like your team's going to get better. Maybe everyone's going to get better today, except for the LA Rams, right? We were talking a little bit off air, but the Rams, they went all in on, Matt Stafford and some of these other big free agents. So all their, high draft picks, their first round draft picks, they're gone for a couple of years. In fact, the Rams would have had the last pick in the first round this year, but it's going to go to Detroit. Detroit will have the last pick in the first round. The Chargers will pick at 17. So yeah, if you're a Rams fan, you might just be casually keeping an eye on the draft because you really don't have a lot of stock in this year's draft.
No, the Rams don't have anything to worry about because they're cruising and doing their thing. For the rest of us, there is that hope thing where you hope you get that one amazing player that can change everything.
Yeah, the Rams have famously said, screw them picks, and they're probably just taking the weekend off.
Fun to see what happens.
It is. But hey, the Rams do have the Rams Draft House. You can get like an exclusive invite to the Rams Draft House and hang out and mingle with the bigwigs.
Not a bad idea,
right?
Yeah, and then the Chargers have something at SoFi Stadium. I think the old Snoop Dogg's supposed to be down there, and I think Justin Herbert and Derwin James, like the Chargers players, are going to be down at SoFi Stadium as well. So both teams trying to find that angle to draw in the fans, right, and try to build some excitement about this year's draft.
Dude, picking Snoop over didn't the Rams claim Snoop?
Yeah. I was going to say, what about Snoop? Yeah, just going over the Chargers now, but I guess that's where the action's going to be today for the draft. So I can see why maybe Snoop would want to go with the Chargers over the Rams today.
Snoop's outfit at the Super Bowl thing, that magic carpet was Rams color.
It was the color of something else. Not necessarily the Rams. I'll update you on that later.
But it should be fun. A lot of teams are going to feel like they're getting better today and tomorrow and into Saturday, right? Today's just the first round. It'll spill in through a couple days of NFL draft action. But it lacks a lot of star power. Usually there's 3 or 4 quarterbacks that everyone's excited about. There's some other players. But it's just there's not a lot of big names coming out of college football this season. Aiden Hutchinson, the defensive end from Michigan, looks like he might be number 1 to the Jaguars, but we'll find out come this evening. But just not a lot of stars right now in college football, at least this season.
I mean, it seems like the biggest star I'm watching is where Kayvon Thibodeau is going to end up going. He's kind of been the guy who, going back to a year ago, was thought to be the best player in the draft. I think a couple of years from now, he probably will be the best player out of the draft, and I think somebody's going to get a pretty good steal.
Right. And I mean, the draft process, it can be monotonous in a way. It's exciting, but also it can be a long thing. But ever since I've moved here, it's always been fun and exciting to see who from the IE ends up going to NFL teams. And I'm always shocked at how many IE guys are on NFL teams right now. It seems like there's IE guys all over every single NFL team.
Boom. Perfect segue, Patrick, right into our Inland Empire guys. Because you're right, every single year we've got several guys getting drafted, several guys who at the end of the draft, they sign those undrafted free agent contracts. So we got a lot of those guys that latch on to teams like that. But here's 3 big names. If you're an Inland Empire football fan, here's 3 big names you keep an eye out. First off, he's a USC defensive end, linebacker hybrid, Drake Jackson from Centennial. He's going to go, I know for sure. Looks like maybe 2nd, 3rd round-ish, maybe 4th round, somewhere in there. Boise State wide receiver, Khalil Shakir from Vista Marietta High School. That guy is definitely going. And finally, BYU running back Tyler Algier from Fontana Kaiser High School. Tyler Algier from BYU set the single-season rushing record, and he's a great story. He went to BYU to play linebacker. They're like, hey, we'll try you at running back because you ran the football in high school, and now he's one of the top running backs in the entire country. So there's 3 guys right there from the Inland Empire that should be drafted, I think, pretty high in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round area during the NFL draft.
Honestly, over the last few years, that's what I watched the draft for, to be like, oh, there's an IE guy, especially since Kenny Clark came in here.
Yes.
It's just amazing to me.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see where those guys go. Also with the draft today, too, they're talking about some teams might be trading some big players. So we might be seeing, Debo leave out of San Francisco. Who knows what's going to happen with some other receivers or something like that. So there might be some movement around the league as well.
Wardy, I know what you're saying. Lots of times in the draft, we kind of know what's going to go down, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. This time, there's going to be some left turns. So that's kind of the exciting part.
And don't forget, we were talking about Deebo Samuel. Will he be on the move as a 49er fan? I hope he's not. But the other big name that's kind of just floating out there is Baker Mayfield, man. What are the Cleveland Browns going to do with Baker Mayfield? Could he be on the moves at some point during the draft tonight?
Well, you're right, because QBs is a big deal, especially if you're not in the draft, because the draft is kind of weak on QBs. So kind of makes Baker's value come up a little bit, I think.
Yeah, if you're an NFL team, you're like, okay, the college guys in the draft this year or Baker Mayfield, which one's better? Maybe we just go for Baker and not, and waste that draft pick to go get Baker.
They're starting to obviously hype the quarterbacks as we get closer and closer to the draft, starting tonight, this year's class. But it was pointed out a couple of days ago that all the quarterbacks in last year's draft tested higher than these guys, than this year's quarterback. So it's like this is a down year for quarterbacks.
Well, that's something to think about, too. There may be a couple on a bench somewhere that are better than somebody who's getting drafted this year.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, you're right. You guys are exactly right. And a couple other quick NFL quarterback notes. Kyler Murray, the Cardinals picked up the 5th-year option on Kyler Murray. So we don't even know if Kyler Murray wants to be an Arizona Cardinal, but at least his contract says he should be there this season and the following season, 2 more years with the Arizona Cardinals.
I think they're smart to do that because they're in too deep with him now. I mean, to pull out now, they already did the total 180 with getting rid of Josh Rosen. They have to stick with him at least for the 5th-year option.
And he seems like he could be the guy there. He's kind of borderline, but I think he does have more up-end potential than he has been, played bad.
Yeah,
he's one of those things that come up here in the draft is his love of football is a little questioned, right? Of course.
He's got other stuff going on. He's got like FaZe Clan going on and the e-gaming and a lot of other stuff.
And that worries a lot of football people. Right. They want to hear that they care about nothing but football. They only sleep, eat, breathe football.
Yeah, right. 24/7 football business, right? So we'll see. As a 49er fan, again, and if you're a Rams fan, you don't want to see him in the NFC West. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. So if he left, I would be A-okay with that. So
yes.
Guys, to the NBA playoffs quickly. The Golden State Warriors beat the Nuggets last night, 102-98. So they take care of Denver in 5 games. So G-State moves on. And the Warriors, again, we talked about a team making a run to the championship game. If Phoenix has struggles with New Orleans, or let's say they can't get past the Pelicans, I feel like Golden State might be the team to beat out west this season. They're back with that small ball death lineup, as they call it.
Right. Well, yeah, Clay and Steph are back, the Splash Brothers. That's going to be big trouble. Plus, Gary Payton II, he's looking like he's coming up. That team's coming together.
Well, yeah, I mean, when they're winning when Steph was coming off the bench, it's like, okay, yeah, they're back to being good again.
The Warriors.
Yeah, the big 3, right? Clay, Steph, and Draymond Green. And this Jordan Poole kid, man, he's pretty good, man. Jeez.
Very.
And Andrew Wiggins. So, yeah, that small ball death lineup is paying off for Golden State. So, we might be right back where we started from, with the Warriors being the team to beat right in the NBA playoffs.
It'll be interesting to see, like, if they go up against one of the big guys. Once that happens, Joel Embiid or Jokic, whoever it's going to be, that'll be the interesting matchup for Golden State eventually.
Can you get physical with the Warriors and knock them off their pretty boy game?
Right. Yeah. No, it is. That's their game, and it's working right now until somebody can knock them off that pedestal, impose their will, right? Take them out of that game plan. And finally, how does this sound? The first place LA Angels of Anaheim. The Angels keep on winning, guys. They might be the best or hottest team in baseball. They beat the Guardians last night 9-5. It was all good. Shohei Ohtani got the win. Taylor Ward, a Coachella Valley kid, he's red hot at the top of the order for the Angels. He went 3 for 4, a home run, just missed out on a cycle. So if you're an Angels fan, this is finally coming together. We say the Angels are going to be good every single year, but this is finally the first time I feel like it's actually happening.
It's very tough to get behind the Angels, but it does appear that they actually did get some pitching for the first time in 20 years. That is not to be understated. It is the first time they have ever done it, and at least got a little bit of help. So it's not just Shohei having to carry the whole team.
I mean, they've obviously been building guys. Trust the process. Come on.
20-year process.
20 years.
Trust the chosen one.
Chosen.
That's who you got to trust.
Yeah.
You got to be patient, man. If you're an Angels fan, you got to be patient. But it's finally paying off. Yeah, Shohei Ohtani looks like an MVP. Mike Trout looks like an MVP. Again, he's healthy this season. He's doing great as well. And pitching was like that one area that was missing. And with Ohtani, with Noah Syndergaard, like they look like the real deal. Like they do not look like a fake imposter trying to play good for a couple weeks of baseball. They look like they could hold on for the long haul here.
We'll see what happens with the Angels, but for now, you are in first place. So soak it up and take it in, Angel fan. I would if I were you. It doesn't happen all the time. Trust me, I'm from Seattle. I know. Pat, tell me how to get your stuff.
Si, senor. Inland Sports. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We got the Inland Sports YouTube channel. Hey, if you're an NFL draft fan and you like our local IE guys, make sure you're following Inland Sports. We'll keep tabs on them for you. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pat.